Justin Thompson, welcome back to Australia. You got here, the Easter Classic. So many people thought you wouldn't make it.
You. No, I only come because you said I wasn't. Yeah, no. I'm happy to be here, though.
Yeah, I mean, it is an important thing. I mean, you see so many people in the room. It must have that nice feel of seeing people that you've known for a long time actually getting back after 2 years.
Yeah, it's been pretty difficult, but it is, like you said, good to come in and see the people again and, mingle on the hockey, like it's just a different thing, online stuff and all that, I try not to play it.
WDF was an interesting exercise. Obviously, we thought it was coming around in January and very much at the last moment it got postponed. How disruptive has that been for you? Because you've been in the draw and then in the draw again, and then people have dropped out and things like that. In terms of work and everything else, have you been able to organise it around this year?
Yeah, it hadn't been too bad for me. It was probably a godsend that it did, because I actually broke one of my fingers on my right hand, and it's still a bit sore, but I've been able to release my dart properly and stuff like that. So that was pretty good that they did move it.
Now, I will say that you are, well, I like to call you runner-up for the World Championship because you lost to the World Champion, so therefore you are the number 2 in the world, but perhaps I've got that a bit perverted. What was it like? I mean, you expected to win the first game, and then you come up against Duffy, and he was, let's say, super confident that he was going to beat you. I know that Mickey was very upset by some of the comments before the game, that he felt disrespected you, and then after the game he realised the guy did respect you. Like, did you feel that at all? Was there anything about the game that was a little bit different because of what had gone on beforehand?
Yeah, no, I didn't even know he said what he said. Maybe if I did, it might have been different, but a lot of people don't know, I caught either food poisoning or a stomach bug, and the day of my match, and I had these really bad pains in the belly, and I had to play through it. There was no taking a different schedule or anything because people are buying their tickets to see people, So, but that night was the start of a real bad exercise for me, like 4 days in my hotel room. So, look, I don't want to make excuses. He still played well, right? He's still done the job, and I just wish that I could showcase some of my game, and maybe it could have been a different story, Yeah.
Is it a case of, like, I know you've looked at previous games and thought I should have won those, but is this a case of, like, missed opportunity? You feel that you could have gone deeper? After all, he went all the way through the tournament. Do you feel that this was a tournament that you kind of let go because of issues outside of your control?
Yeah, absolutely. After my first match, I had a free day, and I hit the practice board, and I was practicing and hitting everything, and it was so disappointing to wake up in the morning with such the issues that I had, right? And yeah, it really, I didn't want to end it that way, but it happened, and I got to move on, and absolutely, though, anyone could have won it, like Richard Venstra, how well did he play? I know Richard well, and he's just a magician, right? He's just such a good player, and when he lost out, I felt for him because he was probably the better player in the whole tournament,
For you now, what's your ambition for this year? We've obviously got the Easter Classic, which is a WDF ranking event. You're going to have the Victorian Classic, which was postponed from earlier in the year and probably works out better now for you. Are there other events that you're going to go to build up your WDF points again? I mean, you're coming from a disadvantage in that events have been cancelled previously, and that's kind of screwed up the rankings, which we won't worry about for now. The only way you can change that, I guess, is to play the events that are upcoming.
Yeah, I'll finish this one, and I'll see where I stand at the end of this, and then I'll look at Morwell. I don't want to travel to Morwell. Like, it's 7 hours in a car, and to be fair, I'm not keen on going down there, But as far as darts go in my near future, I'm I'm hoping I could get to the Australian Open because I want to play in that. I am definitely playing for state.
Yeah.
And so my focus at this point in time is state, Australian Open, Pacific Masters, which are all big events, right? And now that it's WDF ranked, you know, and it's a platinum event.
I'm going to say, and the money there, and everything else, the kudos around.
But, you know, that's all the good work from Calvin and the likes, you know, and the great council that he's working with. And, you know, like, without that sort of support, the darts have, you know, it's just darts, isn't it? Yeah. But now we're looking at players are ringing it up, right? I've had Richard Venstra actually on my phone wanting to know how he qualifies and stuff. And so, you know, like, when you got the likes of those calibres wanting to come over to Australia and play in our tournaments, I think things are looking up.
And that's when your game improves, because you're not playing just like the local players, but you're playing some of the world's best players.
Exactly, and that's why it's so hard for us to not only travel for 20 odd hours in a plane and land, and hopefully you ain't got jet lag, but you're playing the quality play. Even their bad players are good players. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because they're playing it day in, day out every week. Yeah. Right? It's like us going to a Super League.
And I guess that too, like, even an event like today, we've got some of the South Australian guys and the Queensland guys, and we've seen some of the events across different organisations, DPA, MAD, DPA, DA, whatever. The ability to play at a consistent level across the whole day. So you might get a quarter, I know in Queensland, for example, you can get a quarter final against Jamie Rundle or a round of 32 against Ray Smith. And so if you win the event, you feel like you've really honed your skills. I guess that's what makes you a better player for a tournament like Lakeside.
Yeah, well, you know, every time I go to Queensland, right, most times I'm only going up for the singles, right? So I land in Saturday and I play Sunday, and I've done that, I think, out of 4 times I won them 3 times, you know. And, you know, you like you said, you've won the day. You know, you've played well, you've won the game. You know, and it's a good feeling walking out of that room knowing that, you know, you've just played a good state and you've come out on top, you know, and that's always a good feeling.
Tomo, we want to thank you again for making us get up way too early in the morning, for about the 5th year in a row, but without COVID, and we hope that you get to do it again soon for us.
Yeah, well, who knows? Hopefully it's down the track for me, but, you know, I'm not really fussed. I want to still be good, but I just don't want to wear me welcome out. You know what I mean?
Justin Thompson, thanks for joining us.